Hi all, welcome to Director Speaks with Kamal Hassan sir. Sir, welcome to the live Facebook. He's here to promote his upcoming movie Vishwaroop 2, which is releasing on the 10th of August. So tell us something about the movie.
Well, it's a movie close to my heart, and we've been waiting more eagerly than the audience to showcase it. So it's a long wait, the longest I've waited after completing a film in my career.
Something little about your character, Major Vizam.
Major Vizam Ahmed Kashmiri, as his surname indicates, also topographically places him.
Okay.
And this story is a sequel and a prequel to the first part. And Vizam Ahmed Kashmiri is a patriotic, troubled Indian who is affected by the geopolitical terrorism and politics.
So, sir, right now we'll have the trailer playing for Vishwaroop 2, which is releasing on the 10th of August.
Enquiries have proven that Captain Vizam Ahmed Kashmiri has failed in his duty both as an officer and a gentleman.
एक हड्डी तोड़ दूंगी। निजाम की ट्रेनिंग है।
भूल रहे हो, उसने तालीम अल-कायदा को दी थी।
ये तो मैं पूछने वाली थी, तुम हो कौन?
6 महीने में तुम हिंदुस्तान की नजरों में एक बहुत बड़े आतंकवादी मारे जाओगे, लेकिन पाकिस्तान के लिए हिंदुस्तान के खिलाफ एक बहुत माने हुए टेररिस्ट।
अगर पॉलिटिशियंस अपना खेल बंद करते हैं, ये खून खराबा अपने आप बंद हो जाएगा और मैं खुशी-खुशी बेरोजगार। To answer your question, I'm a soldier turned bloody espionage agent.
So, sir, after seeing this trailer, what was the idea that went behind writing and directing Vishwaroop 1 and 2?
The idea is to make the kind of movie I wanted to see as a film buff. And this is the kind of movie we always keep talking about, wondering why we didn't make it, or why we always digress or dilute the kind of films we want to see, the action. We are all aware and appreciative of fast-paced thrillers, but we never end up making it. Something or the other goes wrong. You blame it on the market, you blame it on the distributor, blame it on the writer, but we wanted to do it.
You're the one-man army in this movie. You're the writer, director.
Yeah, that way there's nobody to blame but me. So this is something that I'm an avid reader of espionage thrillers and all that. And I've admired and liked the kind of research that goes in these kind of writings, like Patterson or Ludlum. They all do so much of research that it's astounding and heartening. So we want, as screenwriters, to emulate that kind of research that goes into it, and that's what happened with Vishwaroop 1 and 2. Some of the details that we are giving out in this screen play are actually there. It's not concocted dangers that we are playing boogeyman for the world with, but these could actually happen, actual scenarios that we placed, and it's both thrilling, frightening, and as a movie, you enjoy it as a fast-paced roller coaster.
What can the fans expect different from Vishwaroop 1? Like, what will they expect different in Vishwaroop 2?
The undulations in this roller coaster ride is going to be more steep, faster, and hopefully thrilling.
So as we see in the trailer, like the intense action scenes which was performed by you, like how was it doing those? What were the difficulties you faced?
Difficult. I've paid with bones injuries and pain and applause to do those things. I enjoy doing them. I didn't have, like others, time for adventure sports. My sports, my adventure is also my profession, which is nice to have a jungle gym in your working place.
So, like any particular action scene or which you remember is the most difficult in the entire sequence, like which?
It's not about, see, action directors take care of you.
Yeah.
But as a director, conceiving of an action scene where it involves a lot of people, do it convincingly, keep it organic and not look like it's CG or magical stuff, and keep the pace, speed, obey gravity physics, and make it look convincing. And don't hurt anybody.
Make it look
in the
real,
process.
basically.
So the car sequence was very difficult because designing it, executing it, and not getting hurt and pulling it off was difficult, and we did.
So the title track was launched recently, Vishwaroop 2. There was this sequence of classical dancing. We realized it was choreographed by Pandit Birju Maharaj. So how was that, like under his training to perform that?
See, for me, it was a dream to be a student. I couldn't afford it when I was in my teens. That's about the perfect time to start with a master like Birju Sahab. But it never happened. I couldn't. Delhi was so far away. My budget was too far behind. And it never happened. But then life took me into another direction. I did learn classical dancing, Bharatanatyam, and a little bit of Kathak, but always looked up and said, okay.
Is he a tough taskmaster, like, while...
Tough? I don't know. Yes, he is a tough taskmaster. But he doesn't force his will. He's so gentle, and he frightens you with his talent first. The mammoth talent that he
god,
is.
yeah.
You start feeling nervous. Anybody, especially if you are of an age where you appreciate art, you cannot but be awestruck by the gentleness and the simplicity of his art, which takes so many years to perfect. And that's what I enjoyed, and I just used this opportunity to write Birju Maharaj Sahab into the script because I wanted to be part of his life and vice versa.
So, like, one legendary actor performing with the another legendary actress, Waheeda Rehman ma'am. How was it working with her?
Oh, I never thought it was going to happen in my lifetime. I thought that'll be something that it's like, for me, it was like time machine travel. Like, I was sharing the same space of Kagas Ke Phool's heroine. So it was unreal for me. Like, there's a film called Purple Rose of Cairo by Woody Allen. It felt like that. I had sort of walked into the screen, and I was sitting there talking to her. I mean, it didn't matter the age, time, everything flew by, and I had this fantastic opportunity of discussing Kagas Ke Phool with the actual person who was there on the set, and thrilling experience.
It's like, since you've directed, did your experience as an actor, since so many movies and blockbusters, help you in the directing the movie, or experience, did you help as an actor help you in directing the movie? Some
actors are pampered a lot, so that experience, yes, it helps in handling actors, but direction is another. I came in to become a director. I'm a reluctant actor. But this is a paying job, so I use the payment that I got as an actor to realize my vision as a filmmaker. And I didn't have lofty ideals like taking cinema to another level. I just wanted to take myself to another level. That's all.
So, like, if one book or one Hollywood movie, if you want to remake and direct, like you want to, like one of your favorite, which one would that be? Or something?
Well, there's so many. But you know, the complicated it is. Like, how do you direct a film like Jonathan Livingston Seal or Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah, or for that matter, how do you make the book Homo Sapiens into a film? Those are the challenges that, as a film buff, I want to see how I would do that. It's like, I think.
That's also kind of a rush. That's also kind
Al
of
Gore's film. Yeah. How do you explain that documentary? I mean, it's an uncanny subject, but it's so gripping.
So, in the current lot of filmmakers or directors, which is the one director whose work you admire the most? Like, if you had to pick one in the Indian film industry.
There are quite a few. I would pick myself because I'd like to improve on myself.
So, a particular film in the recent time which you like loved it, the way it was narrated, to the audience or directed in a way.
Indian film or any film?
Indian film, if I have to be particular.
There are quite a few Malayalam films. I'm a great fan of Malayalam film. But there is also a Kannada film, it's a small film shot in the village. I think it's a debutant director. It's called Titi. It's probably 4 or 5 years old now. Very surprising, refreshing stuff. And in Malayalam, we have quite a few films coming out.
So just a few segments, we have a fun segment. If you had to choose between a Bollywood films or South Indian films, if you're an actor, if you had to choose, because you've done both the parts, so as a Bollywood actor.
See, now it'll become difficult. About 10 years back, I would have simply thrown my towel in and said South Indian films. Because now, here, the dream that we as filmmakers, without any borders, without language, dreamt of this, borderless, seamless segue between the kind of films you want to make. There's nothing called art cinema or commercial cinema. You sell tickets, it becomes commercial. You make films, it becomes art. So that's that's converging now. But I wish it coagulates into one form rather than...
So during your time, you were a South Indian film actor, considered to be one of the biggest. Now, when you were starting to venture into the Bollywood film, was it difficult for you, like in terms of language?
Oh yeah, I didn't know a word of Hindi. So it's like suddenly I walked in and did a Chinese film or a French film. Or you knew a smattering of... your vocabulary was limited to 6 or 7 words. And then suddenly you have to speak long-winded dialogues, and that was very difficult. But then over the time, yes, friends helped. And
okay, so this is you might have to be tough. If you had, I'm giving you 3 options. In these 3, if the movies had to be remade in today's age, who would you pick from the industry to actually do? And which is one of your favorite, like Sadma, Ek Duje Ke Liye, or Chachi 420?
Anybody could do it. They have to be talented, that's all.
And which is your favorite, if Sadma, Ek Duje Ke Liye, Chachi? Like, my favorite is Sadma. Like, I'm telling you, I'm from this generation.
Of course. I think I'm of your age. So I would choose Sadma.
Like, I remember my mother showing me that movie, and I was like, it was a year back I just saw Sadma, but I cried literally. It was so touching.
We cried making it. So I'm happy that you did, because that was the purpose.
So how would you describe, like, since the first song is out, the second song in Hindi is gonna be out like today. So how would you describe, like, what was the songs like actually gonna portray, like the feelings?
Well, all kinds of feelings. There's one, Tu Surot Hai.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of a song. It's like Hai Zindagi, which Gulzar Saab wrote. It's about life. It is about... I wrote the Tamil version.
Okay.
And Prasunji...
As I said, you're a one-man army.
So I enjoyed doing it, and I like the way Prasunji sort of took off from there. It's not just inspiration from the thing. It's another approach to the same idea, which it was lovely working with him. And as a poet, to take from an idea and take it in the same direction, but in another dimension altogether.
Okay, and so just since you've done this movie is going to come in Tamil and Telugu, I'll give you two of those one famous lines of Bollywood. If you could translate for the audience in your South audience in Tamil and Telugu, if you could translate those famous Bollywood dialogues. I'll give you one famous Bollywood dialogue of you. So first is in Tamil, if you could, रिश्ते में तो हम तुम्हारे बाप लगते हैं, नाम है शहंशाह.
रिश्ते में तो
हम तुम्हारे बाप लगते हैं, नाम है शहंशाह. If you could translate that in Tamil.
Very difficult because the syntax of each language is, see, some of the advertisements that come from Hindi translated into Tamil is laughable because the syntax changes the whole thing.
Meaning of the...
Yeah, because that's why you shouldn't, Gabbar Singh has to be heard in his language. When you try to make a Gabbar Singh speak in Tamil, he loses his
the essence
and also the edge that he has.
So like we have a fan question coming, like what was the most daredevil action scene in the movie?
As I was telling you, the car sequence, because it's complicated and it's left to physics and gravity. So anything could...
I think it's on a slope. It's on a down
slope. It's on a slope and a high-speed car, which is actually catapulting after a crash. So, and people are there in the car. So you have passengers going like popcorn inside a bottle.
Then there is like best wishes to you, sir. I have watched Anbe Sivam countless number of times, and I would like to see such kinds of movie from you. Like,
yeah, I would like to, but we need producers for that. And Raj Kamal has a certain amount of lung capacity and bank balance.
So this question, I think we take two fan questions. Share some of your screenplay aspects.
How do I share that except write one? I think that's one area that all people who want to come into film should truly concentrate on, because that's a blueprint that makes a film, and that paces the film. People used to make fun of me when I went into script formatting, dived into it, totally immersed into it, and they said, what nonsense, you just write a script and why do you have to do this page a minute and all that? There's a science to it. Writing it the way Hollywood arrived upon it. They didn't invent it, they just discovered the way to do it. And there's science to it, and we should follow that. Since we use a camera and techniques and the SMPT time code, there are codes for even screenwriting which should be passed on, and we should do it so that everybody in the team understands and is on the same page with the same number of lines, and you can divide it. That's the kind of science that we should get into and keep pushing the frontier. So screenplay writing is not just about imagination and writing, because this is about bringing that imagination to paper and allowing people to understand it and execute it from various verticals. It's enough if each of them understand only that part of it, or they can move back and look at an aerial view. A script has to offer so many, so much of those details for each department.
So one message for your fans to what can they expect from Vishwaroop on the 10th of August? Why? Like, what is the one thing that just buy the tickets on the first day?
That suspended disbelief, you can suspend it. That's what is going to happen, and we expect it to happen.
So on a departing note, would you like to sing something from the movie?
I beg your pardon?
Would you like to sing a song from the movie?
No, I have a bad throat where I don't want to have collateral damage trying to prove my point.
Oh yes,
to
there's
you.
a lot of more promotions there.
It's a good song, so I'd like to keep it that way, and not ruin the reputation by singing it here. But please do listen to it. It's very well composed by Gibran, and that was the first song he did for Raj Kamal and me. But it's taken 4 years for it to be unveiled. So it's my favorite song in the film is "Tu Srot Hai," written by Prasham Joshi Saab, and it's a touching mother-son kind of song. It's a duet, but between the mother and the son.
So thank you so much for being on the Director Speaks with
My pleasure.
Reliance Entertainment. So guys, please watch Vishwaroop 2 with starring the legendary superstar Kamal Hassan on the 10th of August at the cinemas near you. Thank you so much, sir.
There's one here which says to share your comments on the people who watched the final copy of
So that's
Vishwaroop 2. That's me.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you.